So the game's a prequel, happens in 2027, so it's 20 years before the first one. So we're actually going to see some events, you know, that lead to the first game in certain aspects of the game. So it's all about transhumanism. It's when humanity finally kind of harnesses the power to kind of like control its own evolution through technology and not through nature anymore. So this is the world that we're pitched in, you know, and there's pros and there's cons, you know, people that are against it, people that are for it, and the biopolitics and all that kind of stuff. And there's all those like multinational corporations that are kind of manufacturing those augmentations. And Adam Jensen, the character that you play, is a security specialist for one of those corporations. And then like something really big happens, and you start investigating it, and then it opens up, and it becomes this huge kind of international conspiracy. At the beginning of the project in 2007, like we bought a whole bunch of books about technology and like the technological curve and where those things were going into the future, you know, like the next, I don't know, like 20, 30 years. So we read a lot. We even consulted with some specialists about technologies and things like that, and especially transhumanistic technologies. And not only for technologies, but also for kind of like architecture and fashion and all that kind of stuff. The color palette, we call it like black and gold. There's a bit of like this analogy with the Renaissance in the game, and if you look at the paintings during the Renaissance and stuff like that. So because of this analogy, we decided to use it in the game as well. And at the same time, we wanted to do science fiction that was not just kind of blue or gray or desaturated, you know, if you want, in a way, just kind of like this very clinical feeling that science fiction usually has. We wanted to be different, and also because the game is about, you know, transhumanism and the change of the human body. To us, like the black kind of represents the cyberpunk aspect of the game, and the gold kind of again represents the golden era, the Renaissance, and this whole idea of humanity and humanism and all that. In terms of designing the augmented characters in the game, either like the hero or the NPCs or some of the enemies, there's really like a wide range of different types of designs. Like we really wanted to make sure that you could understand that there's different manufacturers, and you know the designs are not all the same, and technologies and stuff like that. So some of the augs are kind of more concealed. You know, some people would like to have them more concealed, obviously, and others are a lot more kind of like in the open and more obvious. Adam, for example, his augmentations are military grade, so you know they're really kind of out there, and you have all those kind of cool weapons integrated and everything. It's a huge game, right? And it's this whole, like I said, an international conspiracy. So you really travel around the world. You know, you're going to be in Detroit in the States, and you're going to go to Shanghai, which is actually not Shanghai per se. It's like an island. It's like a little kind of suburban island that's right off Shanghai. That's called Hangsha. You're going to spend quite a bit of time there. We've talked about Montreal, but I can't say any more details about that. It's very much like Deus Ex 1 in the sense that you have your like really big city hubs, you know, with tons of streets and alleys and apartment buildings and all that kind of stuff that you can explore, and then you get into those compounds that you need to investigate. We really work really hard at making sure that each environment has its own kind of theme palette, if you want. You know, there's very little reuse in the game, so I think it creates a very, very credible world that's very aesthetically fun to evolve through and to get to know and to live in, really. So Deus Ex Human Revolution will be out for Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, PC sometime in 2011.